One of the most absurd stories of all time is the tale of Jim Thorpe, the Olympian. In both life and death, the story of this 1912 Olympian continues to be full of twists and turns. As of 2022, his life, and notably his death, have been a topic of attention for many, including the court systems. This is an extensive look at the history of Jim Thorpe and his town. Well, his town is probably not the best term to describe Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. While the town was named after the famous Olympian, it was not for any reason one would expect. Jim Thorpe never visited the town, never lived in the town, and while he attended college in Carlisle, PA, he never once entered either of the towns that would eventually join together and dedicate their land to the famous Olympian. Mouse Chunk and East Mouse Chunk were two towns in the beautiful Pocono Mountains that were popular for their whitewater rafting, luxury resorts, sightseeing, and more. It was also one of the sites for the Molly Maguire trials, where 4 men were hanged. In 1954, both towns merged and were renamed to the municipality of Jim Thorpe. How did this happen? And more importantly, why? First, we must look at the interesting life of the town's namesake, Jim Thorpe. Born in Indian Territory, which is now present-day Oklahoma, Jim had no official birth certificate, so his birthday is contested. His own account states he was born on May 28, 1887, in Shawnee. Other accounts put his birthplace near the city of Prague in Lincoln County, Oklahoma. His mother was Sac and Fox, while his father was an Irish immigrant. His ethnic background and accounts of his early life vary widely, but what we do know is he was a Roman Catholic his entire life, being baptized in the Catholic Church as an infant. Being part of the Sac and Fox Nation, his native name was, which translates to path alit by a great flash of lightning. When he was 9 years old, his twin brother Charlie died of pneumonia. After his death, Thorpe struggled in school and ran away several times. It was assumed his brother helped him through school up until his death. Because of this, his family sent him away to a boarding school in Kansas in fear that he would run away again. Thorpe's mother died during childbirth, and Thorpe was raised by his father until 1904 at the age of 16, when he died of gangrene from a hunting accident. Before his father's death, he decided to attend the Carlisle Indian Industrial School, but quit temporarily after his father's death. He returned in 1907 and began his athletic career almost by complete accident. He walked past the track and field team during their practice and decided to attempt the high jump. Still in street clothes, the young Thorpe beat all the other jumpers with a height of 5 feet 9 inches. He quickly gained the attention of the head coach, Pop Warner, and became his most valued track superstar. But Jim's interests were not only in the world of track and field, and he wanted to explore his interests in other sports. His coach feared that such a physical sport like football would take out his prize player. Thorpe was allowed into a few practice plays where he ran circles around the others on the field. His track and field background, as well as his impressive jump height, helped him lead Carlisle to victory in the 1912 National Collegiate Championship. One of his most impressive plays was during a game against Dwight D. Eisenhower, the future president. He made a 92-yard touchdown that was overturned because of a penalty. However, the very next play, he rushed 97 yards to a touchdown. Eisenhower, in discussing Thorpe, is quoted saying, "He never practiced in his life, and he could do anything better than any other football player I ever saw." Thorpe put track and field on the back burner for 2 years while he played football, but eventually returned in order to train for the 1912 Olympics in the spring. He earned his spot on the USA team after standing out in the Olympic trials at Celtic Park in New York. Thorpe's abilities in track were outstanding. He was recorded to be able to run the 100-yard dash in 10 seconds, the 120-yard hurdles in 15 seconds, and he could long jump 23 feet and 6 inches and high jump 6 feet 5 inches. This is most certainly not an extensive list of all of his capabilities, and his achievements are so resounding that there will never be another athlete like him. Based on this, it is no wonder he won 4 out of the 5 events, placing 3rd in javelin of the 1912 Olympic pentathlon and won the gold medal. In the decathlon side of the events, he placed top 4 in all 10 events with a record of 8,413 points. If this was not already impressive enough, just before he was about to compete, someone stole his shoes. He found 2 mismatched shoes in a trash can and, still competing, won the gold medal for the decathlon. King Gustav of Sweden also presented Thorpe with 2 challenge prizes, which he donated to the decathlon, and Tsar Nicholas II of Russia donated to the pentathlon. Several sources claim that while presenting the awards, King Gustav told Thorpe, "You, sir, are the greatest athlete in the world," to which Thorpe is quoted as replying, "Thanks, King. However, it is not believed to be an accurate depiction of what occurred. It wasn't until after the Olympics that things got hairy. There were several rules regarding amateurism in the Olympics. Those who previously accepted money or competed professionally in any capacity in sports before their appearance in the Olympics would be barred from competing. Of course, Jim Thorpe didn't know this, and he had previously played baseball in which he received meager compensation. It was because of this the Olympic Committee chose to strip Thorpe of his titles and medals. However, this was not abnormal behavior for many Olympic athletes to participate in. In fact, many were forced to play professionally in order to make some money, but they had the foresight to not use their names. Also, this protest occurred more than 6 months after the games occurred, 5 months over the deadline for submitting protests, which was 30 days after the closing ceremony. Jim Thorpe never would return to the Olympics, but his career as an athlete did not stop. He continued to play football, eventually signing with the Canton Bulldogs in 1915. 5 years later, they would be one of the 14 teams to form the American Professional Football Association, later, the NFL. Jim Thorpe served as the president for the first year. He retired at the age of 41, playing in 52 games across 6 teams from 1920 to 1928. He also coached for both Canton and an all-Native American team which he helped form. As we have learned, Jim Thorpe is an all-around athlete, so his basketball career in 1926 should not come as a surprise. However, before 2005, this fact was not well known until those looking into writing his biography found a ticket and a local newspaper documenting his team, World Famous Indians of LaRue, Ohio, which was a traveling basketball team that stormed through the states for 2 years. While his professional career certainly had several twists in it already, his personal life continues this pattern. Thorpe was married 3 times with 8 children. Living through the Great Depression, Thorpe found it difficult to hold any job that was non-sports related. Because of this, he struggled to provide for his family. In desperate need of money, he sold the film rights of his life story to MGM for $1,500. He would later be portrayed by Burt Lancaster in the 1951 film Jim Thorpe, an All-American. While he did not star as himself in this film, he did take several film roles throughout the years, holding film credits for his acting in sport-related films.
Thorpe. Yes, sir. 4 points will tie up this game. You've been practicing field goals for months. Think you can kick one?
Yes, sir, I think so.
Get in there. And don't carry the ball, just kick. Make it good, Jim! Make it good!
Thorpe's life was very eventful, and dare I even say, iconic. His life story alone is something that can inspire all young athletes, but is no longer well known. However, it is in death that his name lives on through another series of wild events. Thorpe passed away at the age of 65 on March 28, 1953, from a heart attack, leaving behind 8 children and his third wife, Patricia Gladys Askew, whom he married in 1945. The residents of Shawnee, Oklahoma, paid for his body to be transported home from California where he had died. In an attempt to gain money to erect a monument in his honor, the town was unaware of Thorpe's widow having Jim's body shipped to Pennsylvania to the towns of Mouse Chunk and East Mouse Chunk, where they were attempting to attract more tourism. Patricia sold Thorpe's remains to the towns, which combined into the municipality of Jim Thorpe, and created a monument in his honor. In the modern age, the town's main attraction is not the namesake or his tomb, considering his popularity waned over time. The town is most known for its whitewater rafting, luxury resorts, sightseeing, and agriculture, which was even used as the model for Disney's Haunted Mansion ride. His children made several legal attempts to return their father's body to his home state, but did not succeed. The main reason for this is that states are very reluctant to exhume a body once it has been interred, and there must be a good reason for the removal or transferring of a body. Even in death, people have the right to be laid to rest undisturbed, and this includes punishment for those who manipulate or disturb corpses. As of today, Jim Thorpe still remains in his town of Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. In recent history, as of 2024, President Joe Biden awarded Jim Thorpe with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. This is an immense achievement that is not only well-deserved, but shines a light on the athlete that has been mostly forgotten to time.
Her late grandfather, the legendary Jim Thorpe. She spoke with WGN about growing up with her famous grandpa before flying to D.C.
It wasn't until we got older. He was in Chicago during the Second World War, and at the time we were children, we didn't know how famous he was or how talented he was.
President Biden spoke of his admiration for the world-renowned athlete and first Native American to win an Olympic gold medal.
History is so rich and full of interesting people, Jim Thorpe being only the tip of the iceberg. If you enjoyed this video and wish to learn more about different parts of history that you may not know, please consider liking and subscribing for more content like this. Thank you.